The whistle's shrill blast still echoed in my ears when Coach David's voice cut through the steam of the locker room like a knife. "Alex, stay back. We need to talk." My teammates filed out, slapping high fives and cracking jokes about the mud-caked field, but I froze, heart slamming against my ribs like it was trying to escape. In that split second, as the door clanged shut behind the last guy, I knew this wasn't about my fumbled pass in the fourth quarter. It was about the stolen glances during drills, the brush of his hand on my shoulder that lingered too long, the secret we'd been burying under layers of sweat and silence. I wiped my face with the hem of my jersey, the fluorescent lights buzzing overhead like angry hornets. David, coach to everyone else, leaned against the lockers, arms crossed over his broad chest, his whistle dangling like a noose. At 35, he was the kind of man who turned heads in this sleepy Ohio town. Salt and pepper hair cropped military short, a jawline that could cut glass, and eyes that saw right through you. I'd idolized him since freshman year, when he pulled me off the bench and turned my scrawny ass into a starting linebacker. But lately, those eyes lingered, and my dreams weren't about touchdowns anymore. "Alex," he said, voice low and gravelly, like he'd swallowed gravel from the sidelines. "You've been off your game." Distracted, he stepped closer, close enough I could smell the mix of his cologne and fresh-cut grass. My pulse thundered. "Is it us, this thing we're dancing around?" I swallowed hard, the air thick with the scent of damp towels and unspoken truths. It had started innocently enough, late-night film sessions in his office, his knee bumping mine under the desk, a laugh that stretched into something electric. One night, after a road win, we'd shared a beer in his truck, and his hand had found my thigh. Nothing more, not then. But God, I'd replayed it 1,000 times, waking up hard and ashamed in my twin bed back home. "I don't know what you mean, Coach," I lied, but my voice cracked like a kid's. He reached out, thumb brushing my jaw, and the world tilted. His touch was fire, igniting every nerve I'd tried to ignore. In this town, where Friday nights meant bonfires and Bible study, being gay was a whisper you buried deep. My dad, a factory foreman with calloused hands and a temper, would disown me. Mom would cry. And Samuel, my best friend since diapers, the golden boy quarterback with his easy smile and secrets of his own. He'd probably punch me first, ask questions later. David's breath hitched. "Bullshit. You feel it too." And then he kissed me. Not soft, not tentative, hungry, like he'd been starving. His stubble scraped my skin, his hands fisting my jersey, pulling me against the cold metal lockers. I melted into it, tasting salt and risk, my body responding before my brain could scream stop. When we broke apart, gasping, his forehead pressed to mine. "This can't happen here. Not like this." "But Alex, I can't pretend anymore." That night, as I drove my beat-up Ford home through the cornfields, rain sluicing the windshield, I felt alive for the first time. Terrified. Yeah, 18 and queer in the heartland, with college scouts sniffing around and a scholarship on the line. But alive. Little did I know, the real game was just kicking off, and the betrayal would hit harder than any blindside tackle. The next morning, sunlight sliced through the blinds of my bedroom like Judgment Day. I lay there, staring at the ceiling fan whirring lazy circles, replaying the kiss until it burned. School loomed, a brick-and-mortar prison of algebra and awkward crushes, but now it hummed with possibility. David had texted at midnight, "Meet me at the quarry after school. We talk." For real. My thumbs had hovered over the screen. Heart emoji warring with delete. But I typed OK and hit send before I could chicken out. Homeroom dragged. Mrs. Hargrove droning about the Civil War while I doodled football plays that morphed into tangled bodies. Samuel slid into the seat beside me, his knee knocking mine under the desk, a habit from years of shared secrets. He was everything I wasn't. 6'2" of effortless charm, blonde hair that fell just so, and a laugh that made teachers forgive tardies. We'd grown up blocks apart, trading comic books and dreams of escaping Milford. But lately, he'd been distant, eyes flicking away when I joked about girls. I chalked it up to senior stress, the pressure of being the team captain. "Dude, you look like you saw a ghost," he said, elbowing me. His green eyes sparkled with that boyish mischief, but there was an edge, like he was testing waters. "Rough night? Or did you finally hook up with that cheerleader you've been eye-fucking?" I forced a grin, stomach twisting. "Nah, man. Just thinking about the game." Lies stacked like bricks. Samuel had always been my confessor, the one I told about my first awkward fumble with a guy at summer camp, back when we were 15 and invincible. He'd hugged me, said it didn't change shit, but his grip had tightened a beat too long. Now, with David, the words clawed up my throat, begging release. But I swallowed them. Betrayal's shadow already loomed, though I couldn't see it yet. Practice that afternoon was brutal. Sprints in the muggy September heat, David's whistle cracking like thunder. "Harder, Ramirez. Dig deep," he barked. But when his eyes met mine across the field, heat flared beneath the commands. Samuel nailed every throw, his arm a cannon, but I caught him watching me, brow furrowed. As we taped ankles in the training room, he cornered me by the water cooler. "Spill it, Alex. You're glowing or some shit." "What's her name?" He leaned in, voice dropping to that conspiratorial whisper we used for midnight raids on the corner store. I laughed it off, but guilt gnawed. "Nobody." Swear. The lie tasted bitter. We bumped fists, but as he jogged out, something in his posture shifted, shoulders tense, like a predator scenting blood. The quarry waited at the edge of town, a scarred pit of limestone and forgotten industry, ringed by rusted chain link and wild sumac. David's truck was already there, parked under a sagging oak. He stood at the water's edge, skipping stones, his polo shirt clinging to the ridges of his back. When I approached, gravel crunching, he turned, and the sunset painted him gold, vulnerable, almost. "Alex." My name on his lips was a caress. He pulled me close, no hesitation this time, and we sank onto a weathered blanket he'd spread out. Words tumbled, his divorce 5 years back, the ex-wife who called him broken for wanting men. My fears of the draft board, of Dad finding my browser history. Laughter mixed with tears, his fingers tracing my collarbone as the stars pricked the sky. "I love coaching you," he murmured, lips brushing my ear. "But it's more. You're more." His hand slid lower, unbuttoning my jeans with deliberate slowness, and I arched into him, the world narrowing to the rhythm of our breaths. It was clumsy, urgent, my first time, his patience a gift. Afterward, tangled and spent, he held me like I was fragile. "This is real, kid. We'll figure it out." As I drove home, windows down, wind whipping my hair, I believed him. Milford's lights twinkled like promises kept. Samuel texted, "Movie night? Your place? 8? I replied, hell yeah. But the glow lingered, a secret flame. Weeks blurred into a fever dream of stolen moments. Film room makeouts, his office door locked, fingers interlaced under the desk during parent-teacher nights. David became my anchor. Texts at dawn, miss your smile. Care packages of protein bars and dog-eared novels about outcasts finding home. He talked escape, me to Ohio State on that full ride, him following as an assistant coach. We'll build something, Alex. No more hiding. Samuel noticed, though. You're different, he said one crisp October afternoon, tossing a football in the empty lot behind the diner. Leaves skittered like warnings. Happy. It's freaking me out. His throw wobbled, and I snagged it easy, but his eyes bored in. Is it the coach? Those looks during practice. It's weird. Man, my stomach dropped. What? No. David's just pushing me hard. Sweat beaded despite the chill. Samuel's jaw tightened. A flicker of something dark, jealousy? Hurt? He clapped my shoulder. Too hard. Cool. Just watch your back. That night, as David and I fogged up his truck in the school parking lot, Samuel's warning echoed, a crack in the foundation. Thanksgiving loomed, turkey and tension at my folks' place. Dad grilled me about scouts. Mom fussed over pie, oblivious to the war inside me. Samuel came over, as always, his family road-tripping to Cleveland. We holed up in my room, blasting Springsteen, but the air crackled. Tell me, he pressed, sprawled on my bed, arms slung casual behind his head. Or I'll guess, I cracked. Not all of it, just enough. It's a guy. But it's real, Sam. Deeper than anything, his face blanked, then twisted. Coach, the word hung, venomous. I nodded, and he bolted upright, eyes wild. Jesus, Alex. He's twice your age. What the fuck? It's not like that. Defensive. Hot. He gets me. Sees me. Samuel laughed. Bitter. Sees you? Or sees a kid he can mold? He paced. Fists clenched. You're throwing everything away, scholarship, team, us for some midlife crisis. The word sliced. He'd always been possessive, our bond a lifeline in this nowhere town. But now, envy poisoned it. Stay out of it, I snapped. He stopped, inches away, breath ragged. For a heartbeat, I thought he'd swing or kiss me. Instead, he whispered, "You're blind, bro. He'll ruin you," and stormed out, door slamming like a guillotine. David sensed the shift that weekend, as we hiked the ravines outside town, his hand warm in mine. Trouble with your buddy? I confessed Samuel's freak out, and he pulled me close, chin on my head. People fear what they don't understand. But we have this. His kiss sealed it, fierce against the wind-whipped trees. But doubt seeded. Practices turned tense. Samuel's throws lasers, mine hesitant. Whispers rippled. Ramirez slacking. David pulled me aside after one, voice strained. Focus, Alex. Eyes on the prize. Prize. Me, or the state championship? December snow dusted the field like ash. Holiday party at David's cabin. Team only, eggnog and bad karaoke. Samuel showed, eyes glassy from spiked punch. He cornered David by the fire, voice slurred. Back off, my friend. Coach. He's not your toy. David's face hardened. Mind your lane. Hayes. I dragged Samuel away, hearts pounding. What the hell? He's using you, Samuel hissed, grip bruising. I see how he looks, like you're his dirty secret. Pain lanced his eyes. Bro. I could have been that for you. Always have. The world stopped. Samuel, my Samuel, leaning in, lips parted, confession hanging. But betrayal curdled it. You don't get to decide, I whispered, shoving him back. He reeled, hurt blooming. Fine. Ruin your life. As the party wound down, David found me on the porch, snowflakes melting on my lashes. What was that? I told him, and he sighed, pulling me into his arms. He's scared for you. But this is ours. We made love by the fire that night, slow and reverent, his whispers weaving spells of forever. I clung to it, ignoring the fracture lines. Christmas break shattered it all. Dad found my phone, David's texts, innocuous but damning. Can't wait to hold you. The explosion was biblical. Shouts echoing through the house, Mom sobbing in the kitchen. Faggot, under my roof. Dad's fist connected with the wall inches from my head. Samuel showed up, uninvited, eyes red. I tried to warn you, but it was his call to the principal that gutted me. Anonymous tip about inappropriate relations, whispered with just enough truth to ignite the inferno. Investigation launched. David suspended pending review. Reporters swarmed Milford High, headlines screaming scandal. Teammates ghosted. Whispers followed me down halls like ghosts. I confronted Samuel in the parking lot, snow swirling furious. You ratted us out? My best friend. He stood defiant, chin high. Saved you, Alex. From him. From yourself. Tears froze on his cheeks. I love you, man. More than he ever could. Love. Twisted. Possessive. This isn't love, I choked. It's control. He reached for me, but I backed away, the chasm widening. David's cabin that night, last refuge. He packed boxes, face ashen. They're firing me. No job, no references. And you? They'll tank your scholarship. His voice broke. I did this. Dragged you in. No. I cupped his face. Desperate. We fight. But the fight drained us. Lawyers. Lies. A town turning feral. Dad kicked me out. I crashed at Samuel's. Irony bitter. He tried mending. Apologies laced with I told you SOS. But trust was ash. The quarry became our confessional. David and I stealing ours amid the ice-rimed rocks. Run with me, he urged one twilight, hands trembling. California. Start over. Temptation sang. But chains held. Mom's pleas. The team's legacy. Samuel's haunted gaze. February brought the championship, irony's cruel joke. Suspended but sidelined, David watched from the bleachers, incognito in a hoodie. Samuel quarterbacked flawless, but our eyes locked across the turf, a silent apology. I played like hell, fueled by rage, sacking the star runner for the win. Crowd roared. Samuel hoisted the trophy, but his smile didn't reach. Post-game, locker room electric. Teammates chanted, but Samuel pulled me aside, voice raw. I'm sorry. For everything. His hug lingered, body heat a question. For a moment, I wavered, familiar comfort amid chaos. But David's text buzzed, proud of you. Meet at quarry? I chose. The water gleamed black under moonrise, David waiting with a thermos of coffee. Eyes shadowed. I got an offer, small college in Texas. Alone. The word gutted. You should stay. Graduate. Be free. Free. Laughter choked. Without you. He kissed me then. The most memorable fracture. Rain starting soft. Then sheets. Soaking us as we clung on the blanket. Bodies frantic against the storm. Lightning cracked, illuminating his face. Love, loss, resolve. Go, he whispered finally, pushing me toward the truck. Live for us both. I drove away, wipers slashing tears from the glass. Samuel's porch light a beacon I ignored. Weeks later, David's truck vanished from town. A postcard arrived from Austin. Build your empire, champ. I'll be watching. Samuel and I mended, fragile. Late nights dissecting the wreckage. His hand on mine, platonic now. Boundaries redrawn. I was scared, he admitted, of losing you to him. To anyone. Graduation came, cap and gown a lie of normalcy. Scouts wavered, but Ohio State came through, probationary ride, whispers fading. Dad thawed with gruff nods. Mom baked pies. Samuel roomed with me freshman year. Our bond reforged in keggers and all-nighters. But shadows lingered. Years spun. I lettered, partied, dated a string of boys who faded. Samuel chased modeling gigs in New York. Visits sporadic. His laugh looser. David, a ghost in highlights. Assistant coach rising through ranks. Our paths crossing at a bowl game. Bleachers empty post-win. He found me in the tunnel. Older but unchanged. Alex. Hug brief. Electric. Proud. Me too. No more. Betrayal scar taught. Trust earned in inches. Love a risk worth the ruin. Now, at 25, assistant coach in a Chicago suburb, I whistle drills, eyes on the horizon. Samuel calls weekly, David's emails seasonal check-ins, not chains. Milford's a memory, but the quarry's echo remains. That rain-soaked kiss, life's pivot. Trust fractured, but rebuilt stronger, piece by jagged piece. In America's heartland, where secrets simmer like summer storms, I learned love isn't possession. It's the grace to let go, and the guts to grab again.